Hi everyone. This is an overview video of writing project 3. To find the assignment sheet for writing project 3, you're going to want to go to writing projects over here on the left and then go to the writing project 3 tab. You'll see that we will be working on this project weeks 6 through 9. Your final product needs to be at least 1,500 words, but should not be longer than 1,900. And your word count does not include the works cited page. And this will be 25% of your final grade. Before reading over the rest of this assignment sheet, you should take a couple of minutes to watch this video. It has some useful information and also provides a general overview of this assignment. Here you'll see the goals of this assignment to give you further practice in writing analytically, developing and sustaining a controlling idea or a thesis, and relating your own ideas to others. You're going to develop a basic understanding of methods for finding, using, and documenting source material. You're going to be refining your writing process. And it's also going to give you further practice in producing a text appropriate for a specific audience and purpose. Now the assignment here, this is a research project, so you're going to be coming up with a research question. Most good research focuses on answering one or more questions. So that's going to be our first steps, coming up with a good research question. Your question should be something that's personally relevant to your life, and a question that you are genuinely curious about. So something that you're actually interested in. If you pick something that you just think will be quick or easy, you're not going to be, it's not as likely that you'll enjoy the project as much as if you chose something that you really care about or you're really curious about. There are some prompts below to help you come up with a research question. So let's go ahead and take a look at those. One thing I'll note here, what is in bold, this should be something that you haven't already answered, something you don't already have an opinion on. Again, it sort of defeats the purpose of conducting research. The purpose of researching something is to learn more and to discover, what you think about a certain topic or, in this case, a certain question. So don't choose something that you already know the answer to. Choose something that you want to learn more about. And as for what your question can be, you might choose a question related to your work in this class or in other classes, especially if you found our previous unit on media portrayals of men and women interesting. That's something that you could research and write about. You could come up with a question related to current events. Right now, there are lots of things going on in the news. There are a lot of demonstrations going on, a lot of things that are being discussed about on the national level. So there's plenty of good things to talk about there. It could be a question related to a problem or issue that you're experiencing in your own life. Or it could just be a question related to hobbies you have or other things that you're interested in. So you actually have a lot of flexibility when it comes to choosing the topic of writing project 3. Let's see here. Over here in green on the side here, you'll find some thoughts and advice from a former student who did this project. So that might also be worth taking a look at. And now let's talk a little bit about the sources that you're going to be finding. You need to have 3 to 5 sources. And the types of sources that you choose will sort of depend on what your topic is. Not all topics require the same kinds of sources. So for instance here, you might need some scientific data. Maybe you'll need articles written by scholars or, maybe lay people who aren't necessarily specialists in the field. You may decide that you want to interview someone or create a survey. There are lots of different ways that you can approach this assignment. And the chapter doing research in your textbook has some information that you could find helpful. largely what I'll be looking for. So this isn't completely set in stone, it's a little bit flexible. But in general, I will be looking to see that you have at least two periodical sources. Now, what that means is that's going to be articles from newspapers, magazines, or scholarly journals. The word periodical means something that is published periodically. Your other sources can be field sources, which means like interviews or surveys or questionnaires, or just general things that you find on the internet. So you can kind of mix and match the types of sources here, but aim for having at least two that are from newspapers, credible magazines, and scholarly journals. Your audience here is going to be me and your classmates. So kind of have us in mind as you are writing your essay. You'll be using MLA format like usual for this class. And you're also going to need to document your sources. And you're going to be drawing from a couple of different things to get your information. So as you are developing your ideas for this project, you're going to want to talk about your own personal experiences and observations. But you also want to balance that with the sources that you found. So you'll be trying to prove your point using your own life and also the experiences of others. And you'll need to document those things in a works cited page and also using in-text citations using MLA format. This here is a description of the process that we will be going through. It will feel very similar to the process that we have used for the previous two projects. And here is a description of how I am going to be evaluating your project when it is finished. And you'll see here you have a rough draft due for peer review Wednesday of week 9, and then the final draft is due Sunday of week 9. And of course, you should be taking a look at our student success gallery. Let's scroll, or let's find some samples here. So for week 6, we have some samples of brainstorming for coming up with questions. And a quick side note here, a couple of people have reached out to me asking me questions about what kind of question you should be developing. If you read the assignment sheet for writing Project 3, what I just talked about, you'll know that there are lots of different types of questions that you can develop. It's largely up to you. There's not really a wrong answer as long as it's something that you are interested in, that you don't already know the answer to, something that is relevant to your own life. And it also shouldn't be a question that only has one right answer. If you can quickly and easily find a single correct answer for your question, then it's probably not a good research question. Research questions are usually open ended and can be approached from a lot of different angles. Let's see here, just kind of clicking through some things. We have some more samples of tentative thesis and some planning. If we take a look at week 9, you'll find some examples of completed products. So this is actually something that you might want to jump ahead and look at now. Look at what does writing project 3 look like when it's finished, and that will give you a pretty good idea of what we're going to be doing over the next few weeks and the directions that you may need to head in. I think that is it for now. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to let me know, and I'll do my best to answer those.